Hey, this is Al Duncan, co-host of Skill Talk. Look, I'm sitting here loving life. Life is loving me. I got the calm waters, the palm trees, and the golf course in the background. You know what? And we got an exciting episode of Skill Talk coming up for you in just a few seconds. But first, let me let you know a couple things we got going on. We got a new program called the S3 Young Professionals Program. That's where you get a chance to hear from and learn from students, graduate professionals, undergrads. We're talking about interns and young professionals in the STEM industry. We're talking about young STEM leaders doing their thing. You get to hear from them, learn from them about soft skills and how they're using them in the workplace and in school. And so you know what? Make sure you head over to s3tem.com. That's s3tem.com. Check that out. While you're there, sign up for the newsletter. Make sure you get your free soft skills success plan as well. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what time it is. It's time for Skill Talk. So enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Skill Talk, the Soft Skills Success Show. My name is Michelle Lee, the founder of Soft Skills for STEM, and my island co-host.
Yeah, I'm on. Yes. Woo, we having fun over here. Looking for an island breeze, though. It's hot.
It is hot. We're live on location at the University of the Virgin Islands, where we just got finished doing a soft skills workshop.
St. Thomas, here we are, St. Thomas campus. Had fun, a lot of fun with the students as always. And they so happy, they're telling us, when y'all coming back? When y'all coming back? And we're like, okay, y'all asking, we're going to come back. So I had a lot of fun today.
Yes, and I think we do need to come back because we were supposed to do actually 2 workshops, but got caught up in a situation yesterday trying to go to St. Croix and do the workshop over there, but we happen to have some engine problems.
Yeah, we had engine problems. Before we even got a chance to take off, they got us all on the plane and they said, oh, you're gonna have to get off. We can't get the left engine started. And I wasn't happy about that, but if you're gonna have engine problems, it's better to have them before you take off. So I was thrilled about that. I was like, I'm cool with that. Get us off the plane. I was not happy, though, that we had to miss St. Croix, but that's okay. We love y'all anyway, and we will be back to St. Croix pretty soon.
That is true, and we did exhibit the soft skills because we had a 2 o'clock workshop. Our plane was supposed to leave at 11:40, and when we realized that, I immediately called my contact person, also emailed him to let him know. And then when they told us that the plane wasn't going to be ready, we made that executive decision to cancel the workshop.
Yeah, I think so. I think we handled that correctly. And that's always a good note to know. People understand when things happen outside of your control. It's when you look negligent that they have a problem. But that was clearly out of our control. We would have been there 2 hours before the presentation even started, which is acceptable. And so that was beyond our control. Very upset, but we will be back again. We'll make it up to the students on St. Croix. And in the meantime, we had a blast with the students here on St. Thomas.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Al, what was your highlight with today's workshop?
Well, you know, my highlight today, first of all, I always like it when, I don't care how big the audience is, how small it is or whatever, I'm just looking for heads nodding, pencils going like this and pens going like this to let me know that they're actually taking notes, getting what we're teaching them. We got them saying boom, Duncan nuggets, and more importantly than just saying that, I felt like they were really going to use it and integrate it into their success. So that was great, but I can't help but to really hone in on the fact that before we even got a chance to finish, one young lady just started hollering out, "Are you coming back? When are you coming back?" And I love her. I was so happy. Yeah, I couldn't wait. I was like, yes, She gets gift cards and all that good stuff because she asking us to come back. We're like, yes, we're coming back very soon. And that shows that you're having an impact because students are here voluntarily on the afternoons. It's Friday afternoon here, okay? These are college students. They didn't have to be here. So the fact that they were here and they wanted us to come back says a whole lot. I feel like they got some, they really learned a lot from us. One question that they asked I thought was very interesting is when they start talking about how do you answer this question or how do you respond to the statement, tell me about yourself in an interview. And, that's a lot trickier than people think it is.
It is. Trying to talk about yourself, you don't really feel like you're bragging. But, when you really think about it, do we really think about ourselves as like, I'm this, I'm that?
Right.
Is that a narcissist?
No, it's not narcissistic. When you're in a job interview, you're supposed to sell yourself. If somebody asks you, I said, if they ask you, it's not bragging. It's time to talk about you, sell you. Nobody's going to sell you better than you. The thing that always gets people tripped up is not that you don't know yourself or that you're not thinking about yourself, is that when all of a sudden they're like, tell me about yourself, and then the whole spotlight is on you, that just completely throws people off.
And it was interesting that we had a professor name 5 qualities about one student.
That's right.
And the fact that she knew that about that student had to demonstrate that to her.
That's right. So that was an example that the young lady could use, that she could take and carry with her. She could use it in job interviews and talk about those 5 characteristics, which is what I suggested. I suggested that you get 3 to 5 power skills that will help you describe yourself, that you can use in an interview scenario, so that when you're starting off and they say, tell me about yourself, you don't start off with, so you should have 3 to 5 phrases, 3 to 5 power phrases, and they should include language that's either from a job description or that there are soft skills or power phrases that you can use and then carry with you, for the time being while you're working on becoming more successful. And so you mix that with this key word, practice. That's the thing. Do not wait until you get in the interview and start trying to think about what you want to say. You can actually practice that ahead of time because they're going to ask you. So just work on letting those 3 to 5 power phrases roll off your tongue. Make sure you have an example that can prove you have those particular qualities. Like if you say, I'm a fast learner, or I have a lot of self-initiative, I'm a strong team player, I have great organizational skills, or I got big vision, or I'm a strong leader. All those things are great. Describe yourself and just make sure you have an example to prove those things. And if you practice saying those ahead of time, as soon as they say, tell me about yourself, you don't have to start off with, which is not good.
But you know what? You brought up a very good point, Al. Looking at the job description. Mm-hmm. When they ask you the task that you're going to be doing when they're writing it out, think about how would you complete that task and the skills needed to actually complete the task.
Yes.
And then think, are those some of your best soft skills? Mm-hmm. And then tell a story. So always make it relatable to the job that you're applying for.
Yes, I agree. And with all of that, I gave them a Duncan nugget too. Duncan nugget number 47. That is, focus on what you can do, less on what you can't do. Focus on your strengths and manage your weaknesses. So just like you're saying, you look at the job skills, you look at the description, you think about what you bring to the table, and you make sure you highlight that. And even if they ask you what are your weaknesses, then you first of all, what you do is you go check out the old episode of Skill Talk. There's an episode of Skill Talk. Look in our list, and you will see there's an episode of Skill Talk where we help you understand how to answer that question, what are your weaknesses? So you do that, get some tips from there. And then you make sure that you focus on your strengths. So even if you talk about your weaknesses, you steer the conversation back in the area of what you do best, and which of those job skills and what you're pulling out from the description really help highlight who you are.
Yes.
Yep, so. And now, but just out of curiosity, I also asked them, what's the most challenging question you get asked in the interview? They came up with, tell me about yourself, and they said, what are your weaknesses? Were there any other questions that throw you off in the interview? I mean, what are difficult questions in an interview? Any come to mind for you that threw you off? Have you ever been asked a strange question?
They're typically the same, but tell me about a time when you made a mistake.
Yeah.
And what did you learn from that mistake?
Right, and see, and we kind of talked about that before in another episode where we talked about behavioral-based interviewing, where they ask you questions so they can determine what type of behavior you would or what type of behavior you have exhibited. And sometimes those questions throw people off also because they're not prepared to talk about their examples. So, all in all, I thought that was interesting that was a question that the young ladies had, because that question came out of me talking to them about the 3 main things you need to focus on when you're preparing for an interview, and that's really your strengths, your weaknesses, and your potential. So people want to know, what are your assets? What are you bringing to the company? How are you going to be an asset? How could you be a liability? Those are your weaknesses, or what do we need to train you on? And then the last thing is your potential. Can we actually picture you working here? Can we see you being a part of our team and not disrupting things? And so in the middle of all that is when they started saying, when they started asking the questions about the interview. So I thought that was very insightful for them. I thought that was a very helpful part of the conversation.
And you know what I'm noticing too, Al? Since I've been here at the Virgin Islands, I've had some employers reach out to me because students actually listed me as a reference.
Oh.
And just if you're going to list somebody as a reference, please notify them ahead of time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I was just caught off guard. But what was interesting when you were talking about that, those were the same things that I was asked when I was providing a reference. Mm-hmm. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses?
Isn't that interesting?
What areas do they need to improve in?
Right.
And pretty much, they might tell you that in an interview, and you tell them all this, but they're going to go and get second and third opinions from your references.
That's right, because you can say it all you want to, but they're going to look for proof. That's called third-party validation. Can somebody else other than you prove that you have and that you embody the skills that you're saying that you're having, And before we get too far, I thought that was a hilarious show, because you're right. If you don't giving you a reference, not only do you not want to sit down and say, when they say, tell me about yourself, but you don't want your reference doing that. I mean, who you talking about again?
Did I do that the other day when I was in the restaurant?
Yes.
Because I answered the phone and I'm like, oh, we're calling about so-and-so, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I worked with him a couple of years ago.
Right.
He gave me a heads up. I can go back and really think about
it.
Then
you would have been prepared.
Yes, and I wasn't prepared. I was caught off guard. I did tell the lady, I said, you might get cut off. Reception here on the island is not that great. And so we did get cut off, and she emailed me, and so now I had time to go back and, but she gave me her email address. So I'm going to finish up giving the reference through the email.
Mm-hmm, that'll be good.
I have time to, really think about this.
Right, so you had time to think about it and pull it back together, but just imagine how nice it would have been if soon as she called, you said, oh yeah, I was waiting for your call. Let me tell you about so-and-so. He's great. That would have been, yes.
It's almost like it's a job interview for me.
Yes.
Because now you're asking about a person, and I'm trying to give a reference, and I'm like,
Yes, not cool. Right, and then messing with your personal brand. Okay. Right. Yes, so. Anyway, like we said, we thought it was great, though. They had a lot of questions. They filled out our normal worksheets. If you want one of those, you got to come. Come to one of the presentations. But in the meantime, you can use the Skill Talk activity sheet. That'll help you out, too, to give you some of the exercises and some of the fill-in-the-blank things that we give them as well. And so I thought that if they had some main takeaways is that they got some skills that they could apply. They were able to, we talked about the 5 soft skills clusters. We talked about communication skills, teamwork and collaboration skills, decision-making and problem-solving skills, self-management and professionalism skills, and leadership, influence, and persuasion skills. And they were able to take that and simplify the whole process of what skills they need. And throughout all of that, I could tell, as I said, they didn't have to be here and they wanted to stay. And so I thought it was great, very good, and I can't wait to come back.
Me neither.
You either? Yes. And this is another side note, but we're going to bring her back when it's a little bit cooler, because Dr. Lee, boy, she's been having a hard time. She got bit up, scratched up, all kind of crazy stuff. So anyway, that's what it is. She's straight allergic to heat. We'll talk about that later. We might let y'all see that on some outtakes or something, because Dr. Lee was looking crazy over here in the islands. But anyway, that's what happens when you come in September and not in the wintertime like most people do. But hey, we come when duty calls. It's all about soft skills for us, making sure students get the information, so we were thrilled to be here. Anything else, Doc?
That's it.
That's about it. So I'll tell you what, my name is Al Duncan on behalf of Dr. Michelle B. Lee. We had another great episode of Skill Talk. Great time at the University of Virgin Islands. Look forward to coming to a university near you. And until then, be safe, be well, and be blessed. Boom. The show is made possible thanks to the National Nuclear Security Administration.